Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and today is Wednesday, January the 23rd. I'm demonstrating a trade example here. I'll explain to you why I like this trade. We've had a range day today for the most part. We broke out of the range and failed. There was a nice short here, and then now we've broken out the lower side. And generally on a range day, you want to fade every new high and every new low. And so this was a new high, but it's also the failed break higher. And now we got a new low, and I would characterize this as a failed break lower as well, or I'm hoping it's going to be a failed break lower, but that's generally what will happen. So I went long right here. And what I did was I waited for the new low to set up, and I wanted to go long here, but it triggered too quick, and then we kind of got stuck in this stuff. So I just went down here one tick above the low and dropped a limit order in, hoping that it would come back and fill my order, and it did. And so I started the recording, and now we'll see if I can scalp out, and I'll try to keep a runner in case we go back to the other side of the range. And so that's where we stand, and you can see that I got it working a tick or two in my favor here, and we'll see what happens. But if you were looking for a video yesterday, there was not one because I woke up in the middle of the night yesterday with a toothache, so I went to the dentist. And I spent all day at the dentist back and forth with the toothache. So, but they took care of me. I'm fine today. My mouth's a little sore from getting some shots and so forth. But other than that, I'm good to go. I'm able to talk without any problems. I wanted to come back and do a video yesterday and just see what the market did. Seems like I miss all the rallies, and you can see the nice rally we had. And of course, I missed it. The last really good rally we had was on New Year's Eve, and of course I was on vacation then, so I've missed the last couple of really good rallies like that. But needless to say, I'm back today. Maybe we'll get something good going on today. It hadn't started off too good, but I like these kind of days because they're generally, generally a range day is really predictable, and normally, you like I said, you normally can fade every new high and every new low for one, and then you fade the low sides of the range and the high sides of the range, and if it breaks out, you wait for the reversal and you fade that. So um, we're struggling to bounce here, but my guess is we'll probably work our way back to at least the EMA if we don't work higher than that. And I'm going to hold um, at this point, I'm going to hold a runner just in case. We'll see how it reacts here. If I'm able to scalp out, we'll see how that reacts. I started with actually it should have been a 2-point stop there. For some reason I had a 3. You never want to give more than 2 points. So I always start with a 2-point. I'm going to have to look at that because I noticed that last time that I don't know if I picked the wrong strategy or whatever. For some reason I had a 3-point stop there. And you never want to have more than a 2-point stop. Especially on this kind of trade, because if it goes more than 2 points, something's going on that you're not aware of or you're missing, and you just don't want to you can't afford to have big losses. That's what really gets your profits when you're mostly scalping, is that if you give out, you can win 7 or 8 times out of 10, but if on that 1 or 2 trades you give up all your profits, then you're just spinning your wheels, so you don't want to do that. So um, we're struggling to get above this we got kind of these matching highs here. We're struggling to get above that. So there's some pretty strong resistance right here. But I still like this. These trades generally set up pretty well. Usually you kind of bounce out of here pretty quick. So I'm a little concerned that we're kind of hung up in this congestion. I could go ahead and exit this, but at this point I still like the trade. So we'll hang on a little bit longer and see if we can't get out of this trade and get a move headed back to the other side. But again, yeah, if you missed the video yesterday, it's because there wasn't one, because I was out with that toothache, and it was just not a good day for me. I was in a little bit of pain, and but they got me fixed up, and I'm good to go again, and we should be back to normal now. I hope that some of you made some money on this. I mean, really, we kind of started out in a trading range yesterday, and then we kind of made a double bottom here and reversed, and it was up all day after that. So pretty nice day. Hopefully y'all made some money. Hate that I didn't get to participate in it, but hoping I'll make a little money today to make up for it. So we'll just have to see how the day goes. But we're still trying to work hard here. And what I'm afraid of now is because we've got this congestion, I'm afraid we're going to break out. I'll probably hopefully get filled on this, but we may break out here and snap back. So we'll just have to see what happens. But that's why we do the scalp and run. Because once I scalp out here and move my stop to break in, if I cannot lose money at that point. So guaranteed to make some money. And I went in with 3 contracts. What we'll do is we'll scalp out 2. And here we are. We're bouncing off our order now. Hopefully we'll get filled here pretty quick. And then I'll hang on to 1, scalp out of 2 and hang on to 1 for a runner. But on range days, generally you want to fade every new high and every new low as long as you're still in range. And you can see that's very clear that that's a range right there. Look how flat that EMA is. That's a great sign that you're in a range. That's one of the clues that we use. But you can see that prices are just not going anywhere right there. So we're getting a little buying going here. Maybe I'll get out of this pretty quick. You can see the ticks clicking off down here. Most of them are clicking off on the high side, so that indicates there's some buying going on there. Come on, buyers, a few more. I should be early in the queue. That's one reason I use the automated strategy, because as soon as my order is filled or executed, my exit orders go right in the queue too, or go in instantly. So that gets you early in the queue. And if you have, if you listen to it or watch our videos, you've heard me talk about that quite often. That's one of the reasons I think this automated strategy will pay for itself, simply for that reason, because there's a lot of times I will get out without, generally when you're trying to exit on a limit order, prices have to tick through your order. But occasionally, actually quite often, I'll get out, and you see right there, I just did right there, I got out, but usually it's going to tick on pretty quickly. But that's because I'm early in the queue, and I got out actually right before it ticked through there. And this is looking pretty good so far. I wouldn't be surprised to see it pull back, because this is a trading range and generally prices will snap back. But because we got a failed break, we could head right on up here. So we'll see. We'll play this runner real tight here. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and give myself one more tick there. And the reason for that is because there's a high chance this is going to come back and take out the stop. And by giving myself one extra tick above my entry, I'll make at least a tick on this contract, and I won't lose any money. In other words, if I leave it at break even, I've got to pay for the commission out of my other profit, so I actually lose a little money on this contract. But by moving it to +1, I don't lose any money on this contract. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But we'll see. And this was a second entry long right here when this triggered higher. So generally they'll come back. This is usually they'll come back and just enough to get the stops and then reverse. But hopefully we caught the right move here, and this thing will just go higher. But like I said, that's why I like to fade every new high. And when we made this new high up here, I faded that and had a nice short, rode this down. Then I exited right here at these lows, and now I've reversed to the long side based on what I explained to you earlier. And so now we'll see if we can ride it to the other side. Let's hope we can. And but that's why we do the scalp and run, because even if we don't, we'll still make some money on the scalp portion. But if the runner continues on like we're hoping, then we'll make a lot of money. And at this point we have no more risk in this trade. That's what I really love about the scalp and run. People always ask me about that. And the reason I really like it is I'm guaranteed that the worst I can do on this trade is make a little over $100 now, and I have no more risk in this trade. Yet I've still got a chance to make some good money. So it's kind of a cause and effect type trade there, and that's why I like using the scalp and run. You don't have to trade it that way. That's just my preferred method. I don't like to see money in my hand and give it back, so I'll just take what it gives me and I'll look for a new entry. And some people prefer to enter less and try to get more out of a trade. So there's different ways to do it. So you got to find your comfort level, but just remember that price action is price action, and whether you're trying to use it to enter on a scalp or you're trying to use it to enter on a swing trade, it all works the same. The only thing I will say that is a lot of these trades that we enter, we know we're likely only to get 4 ticks, but we enter them anyway because we want that scalp portion. And occasionally some of the ones we think we're only going to get a scalp on turn out to be some of our best runners and our biggest trades. But there are some trades that we know going into it, the odds are pretty high that we're only going to get 4 ticks. And so you may want to think about that if you're wrong. You know, you may only want to look to enter certain trades if you're going to be a swing trader, so to speak. So, but it's not surprising me that we're pulling back because this was congestion, and you almost always get the snapback, and I'm hoping we're only going to pull back and test those highs and then go higher, but we may get stopped out here, and that's why I'm giving it break even +1 instead of break even today, because I don't want to. I'm still going to make a little bit of money. I'm still going to make 1 tick on that runner if we get stopped out. And again, I'll just go back and show you, you notice that we got 1 leg down, and then this is really kind of a correction here, a 2-legged correction. You can see 1 leg up, a little correction, then a 2nd leg. And so now we got 1 leg down, a correction, and we made a 2nd leg down. And they're similar in length. They're not quite a measured move. That's the 1st leg down, and then there's the 2nd. But let me show you something that I look at a lot. You notice these highs here. I have this marked just because I want to mark the closes. But if you just use pretty much the closes, because this is in the overnight and you get these kind of things here, and then you drag that over, you can see we really got almost a perfect measured move looking at it like that. And I'll do that sometimes because generally in the overnight you'll get these moves. Actually, I think we did get a perfect measure. Yeah, we got a perfect measured move if you measured off those close highs there. And you can see that it's a perfect measured move. So that was another reason I liked entering here. And now we got a 2-legged correction, so maybe we'll get another move like this right here. Or maybe, yeah, like that right there. We'll just have to see. But that's why we like to keep a runner. And even though I would characterize myself as a scalper first and foremost, some of my best profits are made when we catch these runners and they go all day. And on a range day, I will probably not hold this runner. Once we get back up here near resistance again, I'll probably just exit. And you see I got my limit order there, and I may not give it that long. If we start making a high here, a lower high, then that may not be a good sign, and I may exit and then wait for another entry. Again, I don't like to give back my profits, and I'd rather just take what it gives me and then look for a new entry, because there's new entries. There'll be a new entry that comes along in the next hour or so, maybe less. So just keep that in mind. And I'm not going to let this trade go on forever. I may just go ahead and close it. And you can check at the end of the day to see if my runner would have been good. You can see that my stop is at 1485, and I'm going to try to exit back up here near these near this previous resistance area. And if I do end up ending the video, because we're in about 14 minutes already, so if I end up ending the video, I at least made $100 on this trade, and you can come back later today and see if prices came back or if they went up here first and I got an additional 84, an additional 4 points. So that'd give us another $200. That'd make this a $300 trade on 3 contracts if we're able to get out here first before we get out here. But if we start moving up and get into this area, I'm not going to let it come all the way back. I'll probably tighten my stop along the way at some point too. So really just depends on how prices move on. But notice here, we had the little trading range. We broke out. We did come back and test it to the tick. That's a good sign that we could go higher. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. And I'm going to let this run a few more minutes, but not much longer. And I'll probably just stop the video. And again, you can come back and later today and just see what happened with prices from this point on. This is at, give me a time on this. This is at right at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, my time. So you can come back and verify where prices went from there. See if I was able to survive this or if I got stopped out. And this will probably serve as our chart lesson for today too. And I'll just show you the only trades that I've seen that I like this morning was this short right here and this long right here. This is just as flat as that EMA is. There's no new highs or new lows in here really. I don't like that. So the first trade I took was this short, and the second trade I took was this long. And the short worked out wonderfully. Rode that all the way down, exited right off this low right here. So you know, you're looking at 88.50 to 85.25. Nice trade. Almost 3 points, and maybe we can get 3 or more points on the way back up here. I mean, if this takes off and goes all the way back to the high side, we'll make about 6 points on this trade right here. That's total points. The points I was telling you on this one was not, you know, if you had multiple contracts, you multiply that by your contracts. But again, just remember, when you get a range day like this, you can just about fade every new high and every new low. That's my rule. And until the market starts trending again. And obviously coming off this high, we had a new high here. You can see this high is higher than this one. Now, it's not higher than the overnight, but the market opened right in here somewhere, 8:30 or so. So since the market opened, you got a new high and you got a new low. And this is actually a new overnight low too, so that makes it even a more important low. And to be honest with you too, one thing you got to keep in mind is that strong support is generally more important than strong resistance. Not always. Nothing's written in stone, but it's a whole lot easier a lot of times. You will, actually, I won't say easier, but you'll notice the market push through resistance, strong resistance, more often than you'll see it push through strong support. And that's because there's a lot of people that actually buy the market rather than sell the market, the stocks. And this is just a index of the S&P. So if it starts rallying, people are buying stocks. And but this thing looks like we may pull back and test this or come back for these stops. Sure looking like it. But we're getting almost into 20 minutes here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up. But you can come back again. Again, this was around 10 o'clock right in here where this price action is, Central Standard Time. So you can figure out where we're at, and you can see if we come back. My stop's at 14.85. I'm not going to move it at this point unless we go higher. I may move it higher, but at this point I'm not going to move it. So if it comes back from this point right here, you'll know I got stopped out. And if it goes higher, my exit is at 14.8875. So, but otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up. I think we got a two-legged move. I'm hoping we'll get something to the upside. We'll just have to see how it works out. Hope you had a good trading day yesterday, and we may end up with a range day today. That's the way it's looking so far. But notice that we do have kind of a double bottom with a slightly lower low on the right-hand side. So we probably got some trap shorts in here. People that don't know any better and go short down here, they're going short while I'm looking to go long, and that's where they, just like you had a bunch of people get long up here, and here I am looking to get short, and the smart traders are looking to get short up here, and they're looking to get long down here, and the traders that don't know any better are jumping on long up here, and they're jumping on short down here. And that's how people get whipsawed. I'll talk about that real quick, then wrap it up. But common sense tells you you want to get long when prices are moving up, and you can't use common sense in trading. If you do, you will get burned every time, and that's what happens. People see the market moving up, it looks strong, common sense says, hey, now it's time to buy, and they buy up here, and guess what? The smart traders all got long down in here somewhere, and they're exiting up here, and so they're exiting into this strength, and the not so smart traders that are buying into the smart traders selling, and they just allow them an easy exit, and then all of a sudden the market, they buy up here and the market starts turning down, and they're saying, well, I'll put my stop down here, it'll probably be safe here, it's protected here, and if it goes lower there, then I'm wrong. And what they'll a lot of times do, it'll start coming down here, and they'll just reverse, and they'll say, okay, heck, the market's going down, I was wrong up here, I'm going to reverse. And so then they get short here, so they've already had a losing trade off this, now they're short down here, and the market's reversing and going higher, and so they get whipsawed both times, and they have two losing trades by doing the exact wrong thing twice. And on a range day, what you got to be thinking is shorts up here, and it's, when you see that big bullish bar, it's really hard to trust that this is going to turn down. But I can just tell you, if you read my manual, it'll tell you that's what's likely to happen. If you watch my videos, I'll tell you that's what's likely to happen, and when you see it, that's what usually happens. And does it happen every single time? No, but it happens. You got to play the odds. That's what trading is like. It's similar to, the casinos. Do they win every hand? No, but do they make money in the long run? Yeah, and the reason is because they play the odds. The odds, they have some of the casino games have only a 1%. There's only like a 1% odd in the casino's favor, but yet over the long haul, they know they will make money. So when they start losing, they don't worry about it. They just know that in the end, they're going to win 1% more time than they lose, and they're going to make money. Now in trading, we can do a whole lot better than 1%, trust me. And so if you play the odds, if you know what's likely to happen, if you understand how to read a price chart and you understand what prices do, and you can actually make yourself do what you know you're supposed to, which is another key to being profitable. If you can do that, then in the long run, you're going to make money. But even if you know the rules and you can't force yourself to trust that you got to go short up here and you got to go long down here, doesn't matter. You're still going to probably lose and not make money. So it's a double-edged sword. Not only do you have to know how to trade and understand price action, you got to have the intestinal fortitude to be able to make yourself take the trade, because it is very hard to go short right here when you see all that bullish move. But if you understand price action and you know that on a range day that every new high is going to reverse, you just force yourself to say, okay, here's where the short, one tick below that little doji right there is where I go short, and look at that move. Easy, easy. Now this long hasn't been as easy, but still, I went long one tick off of that low, and it came back. I got in the trade, my order was executed, one tick off that double bottom, one tick below this right here, perfect setup, and it's headed higher. And, was it easy to take that trade? And on this one was fairly quick here. This one, I've had to wait it out, but look at it. It's steadily going higher. Now, it may find resistance here and turn back down, but so far it's doing exactly what I expected it to do, which was go higher from this point. And that's what it's doing. So we'll see how it ends up, and there we go. We're still going higher. Almost got 2 points in this runner right now, but I'm going to shoot for 4. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense to you. You not only have to understand the rules, you got to be man or woman enough to take the trades when they present themselves. And I will be the first one to tell you, it's hard to go short up here. But all you got to do is go long a few times and get burned, and then finally force yourself to take the trade, and you make money. And you suddenly, if you do that enough, you encourage the right, encourage the right action, so to speak, then it becomes easier for you. And even to this day, sometimes it's hard to trust this stuff for me, and I've been doing it. I got thousands of hours of time sitting at this screen watching the ES alone just go up and down, and so that, that gives you, the more you watch it, the more you start to spot other things, and you get more, you feel better about it, but you'll never be able to completely get rid of that fear and greed, that emotion of that's pecking away in the back of your brain, trying to tell you to do this or that. And so it's a constant battle. I fight it today. After all these years, I fight it. So it's not something that I think that ever goes away. At least it hasn't for me. Maybe I'm different, but I still fight it today. And I, sometimes I want to get short down here, and I tell myself, why would you? You know better, and I force myself to go long instead, and you see I'm sitting in a winning trade right now. So anyway, and there you go. We're still heading higher here. This is looking real good. We may just get a little 2 legs into about right here. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. You can see that this trade is working out as, just as I expected. Will we get up here and exit up here? I don't know, but what I'll probably do is tighten this stop to right here. And that way I'm going to almost make 3 points, or, a point on this runner too. And if it really starts to back up, I may just exit anyway. But I'm liking this back up to the upper side, so we'll see what happens. But I'm going to wrap it up, and this will serve as our chart lesson for today. And again, in case you're wondering if you missed it at the beginning, the reason there was no chart lesson yesterday is I woke up in the middle of the night with a toothache, and I spent all yesterday at the dentist getting that taken care of. I've got a really good friend that's a dentist, so he just got me right in, and I had to sit around there most of the day, and I actually had to go over to a specialist and let them look at some certain things. It was an old root canal, and I'm probably giving you more information than you want, but he sent me to a specialist, so had to run from one side of the town to the other and go back to him again when they told me that everything was okay and that I needed to go back to my regular dentist. It's my buddy. So he took care of me, and it's nice to have friends in the right places, and he got me all fixed up in one day, so I didn't have to make multiple trips. So I'm done. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. This is Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and I'll see you next time.